Hey guys, welcome back. If you haven't noticed, please don't say anything.
I didn't say anything.
They haven't. We have our second guest here.
It's just so obvious.
What's up, guys?
I wanted Benny on because he has his own little business. He's following his dreams, kind of like all of us are trying to. But yeah, Benny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
First of all, anywhere that you can find me, I do sell my art. If anyone's looking for commissions, I am closed right now, but hopefully by the beginning of next month I'll be reopening. But if you're interested in looking to the type of art that I get into, just follow me on Instagram as IamBennytheJetArt.
And we'll put it down below. Yeah, we'll put it down below.
Yeah, for sure. As of right now, I've just been selling my art, working 2 jobs, trying to enjoy my life as much as I can, trying to reach that peak of what I like to call success, freedom. So hopefully within my years of 20s, I'll be able to make that. So.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, nice.
23.
Nice.
23, born in 97. November, I'm a Scorpio, if anyone is into that stuff. I slowly got into it, because of my fiance, of course, she's really into it. Speaking of that too, I mean, it's weird because she's into that. She's a Taurus, I'm a Scorpio.
I'm a Taurus.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, no, you're good.
I'm a Gryffindor.
She really looks into it, and she says that we're in that zodiac lifestyle kind of stuff. We're complete opposites, but we're a perfect match.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
kind of makes sense.
Aren't Scorpios like the serial killers, right?
I don't know.
Sorry.
I will be honest, I do not keep up with that stuff.
Okay.
But so isn't that stuff kind of based off of like your personality too?
Yeah, your
Based off of-
personality, the
Yeah.
time you're born, date, and all that kind of stuff.
I wanted to look that up, but on the website I did, it like was asking for so much information and like to accept the cookies and stuff. I was like, please don't sound like my stuff online. I didn't trust it, so I just say I'm a Taurus.
Bro, I get so many little scam calls, like, it's annoying. I'm at the point where I want
We've
to
been
change my
trying to
number.
reach you on your extended warranty.
And I answered, I was like, hello, and it was just when I bought my car too, and I called my dad after. I was like, yo, I thought we had a warranty already. And he was like,
For some reason, I
"You."
just can totally see you believing that.
Yeah.
I don't really get those. I don't really get those calls.
Well, you're on like do not disturb, so you don't get any calls.
I have it to where it silences them, so it just goes straight to my voicemail. At least I did that, but it is annoying just constantly seeing that phone
Yeah.
mark of how many missed calls you
I
get.
think phones are getting smarter because sometimes like there are times where I'll get calls from like people that I don't know. Like if I don't know the number, sometimes it just won't ring.
That's how mine is too. And it'll be like at the end, saying most likely like spam or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
It won't even like
Yeah.
notify
Okay, but
me.
I noticed, I don't know if it's you doing it, but every time you call me, I get a call and it disappears like within a second.
It might just be. I don't know.
He might
I
be
think my phone
bug-outing you.
declared you
See,
spam.
yeah. So the first time I do call you a lot. Hey Fernando, what are you doing? You wanna go here? Yeah. that's fine.
I'd rather call people though, like instead of texting.
I can tell. You call me all the time.
Okay, well hold on. It's because like I only call you for assignments. And, like Maddie.
No, you call me only for school. The
Like,
reason
hey
I know
Maddie,
you're calling
it's like
me is for school.
8:45. I'm like, hey Maddie, do we have anything due right now at 10? And
Yeah.
she's like, yeah, we have like 2 assignments. I'm like, fuck, okay, thank you.
It's fine.
But it's only about school, or like, hey, where'd you get on that speech, or something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't
You
care.
guys
about
even
Maddie
do it in our
outside
group
school.
chats.
Well, yeah, no, I text her in the group chat too.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
only me
yeah.
though. Like she never asks me about the classes or anything, except for like my school.
Every once in a while.
Last night, yeah. She's like, what'd you get?
Yeah, because I like to know what you got.
23,
Okay, cool guy.
At what?
25.
25.
Oh.
It's better than a 14 that I got last time. Yeah. Anyways,
I don't miss school, bro.
okay, so yeah, so let's get into that. So I had a question for you. You're a communications major, right?
Yeah, I was.
You were a communication major. Did you take, or what classes did you take? You took them at West Hills, Lamar?
My first year I went to Fresno City because my
Okay.
sister was going over there, and during that time, that period of my life, I was trying to become a pro at soccer playing.
Okay.
Playing soccer. So I tried out for the team over there, so that's why I went over there. Made the team, but within like a week or so, I ended up dropping it because I wasn't getting financially during that time, so I was just out of work more. So I quit that and just kept going to school. Spent 1 whole year in Fresno City for communication. Originally during that time it was psychology actually, and then after that first semester I changed to communications. Spent that semester there, and then just that drive, just an hour drive not every day. It was like Tuesday, Thursdays I would go, but even then, just that whole hour drive just drag. So I ended up going to transferring to West Hills, where the cross country coach, actually kept trying to get in contact with me. So I was like, let me check it out. So I went to go check it out, and then he ended up like persuading me to do cross country again. After doing it for 12 years of my life, I had stopped for a whole year, tried to pursue soccer, and then so went back to West Hills to do cross country. I was their number 1 runner during that time, but
Wait, you ran long distance
yeah,
in high school too?
yeah,
Did you do track?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, bro.
That's crazy.
I did. Thank God, I managed to win Valley my junior year
What was
for
your?
cross country.
What do you run in track?
In track, I was just always long distance. Sadly, for track, I always hated it just because I would only do one event,
What was it?
the 2 mile.
Yeah. Okay.
And I hated it because it was the last event.
Yeah.
8 hours of my life.
Everyone that does the 2 miles says that.
Yeah.
They hate
Bro.
it. They hate that it's the last event. You're just waiting and
But
waiting.
then it's like most. Like
and you have to warm up too with everyone else.
Yeah.
And then you cool down, and then you have to re-warm up again.
and then it's like it's right after the 800. So most like 2 mile people are like just finished the 800,
And then
right after sometimes like I had to run the 4x4, and that's right after the 2 mile, the girls 2 mile.
Yeah.
And it was horrible, but that's cool. I didn't know you did that.
No, I remember my freshman year was the only year that I would do the mile, but it was only for a couple races. And then after that, they only left me for the 2 mile. So sometimes, every now and then, I would do the 800 just to warm up. But that's why you would always see me at the end, too.
What was your fastest 2 mile?
Fast 2 mile was 9:54.
Oh wow.
9:54.
Wow, dude, that's impressive.
9:54.
What was your fastest? It's 3K, right?
5K?
5K. There you go.
In because that's where they have Valley and State. I did a 16:47.
Wow, I didn't know they did it there.
Yeah.
That's a
In
beautiful
Woodward Park.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of training. Oh my gosh, yo.
Do you
I
ever
love that
miss
place.
it?
Huh?
Do you ever miss it?
Running, within this year, I managed to get back to it. I had dropped it because I felt like, for me, my perspective from running is I had stopped because I was just tired of looking skinny, I would use it just to like relax my head. Now, but back then I just missed the competition of it. The idea of competing, it just drove me.
fun.
It drove me during those times, man. That's where I mainly got my work ethic from my sports. When I was younger, skated, went on to doing cross country with my best friend during that time, and then within that year afterwards, my sister challenged me because she would play soccer, and then I was just making fun of her once. I was like, man, you could have done this, you could have done this. And she's like, if you make it so easy, why don't you do it? All right, bet. So I come in the next year, and that year it was crazy too. It was my first year playing soccer, and I was defense, and we ended up going undefeated the whole entire year. I ended up getting Defensive Player of the Year that year. We won like 3 championships. We lost 1 championship, which was devastating during that time. And then just from then, my whole work ethic just kept. I wanted to be a pro at something, and that's where I get my work ethic now. Yeah.
So in terms, well, what the heck was that? So in terms of like being a pro, with your art, have you always had like your skill? Has it been something you grew up like developing, or is it something that you've only picked up like within the last couple of years?
Art-wise?
Yeah.
Art-wise, I had it in me within a kid. I never really like took the time to really study it and get better at it, but I remember the first thing I ever drew was my favorite superhero, Spider-Man. That's why even to the day, even at Harris, if you see, I have my name tag as Peter. Spider-Man.
You do?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's funny too, because if I'm busing, I'll put Benny, but if I'm running, I'll put Peter. Yeah. It's just, I don't know, it's just my thing. But as a kid, I believe I want to say 5, 6, the first time that I remember I drew Spider-Man. And then from then, my cousins they would always love drawing cars, so I would draw cars. I would just do what they would do. And then we would have art class at school. I even won a couple competitions during school. I remember I got a first place once, second, third place, like between the years of first and fifth. And then from there, I never really gave it a thought. And then just recently, at the end of 2019, I remember for Christmas, I was like, what am I gonna get everyone for Christmas? And then I just, for some reason, it came to my head. I was like, let me make something for everyone this year. So I made everyone a painting. I remember I made like a solid 12, 13 paintings. And then from there, I was like,
That's great.
let me have some fun with this.
Yeah.
And
Just
here I am today.
Yeah,
I've been selling my art for a good amount. Been making some pretty good amount of money. And I'm just grateful for everyone that's placed an order. And even to this day that I'm closed, people still want to place an order. And I'm blessed for that. It gets a little stressful, trust me, especially working 2 jobs. But trying to reach that dream of freedom. You know.
Yeah, you absolutely have like a very unique style. And what was your process in developing that?
My style is crazy. Is that I take my style from my 3 favorite artists. One, which I'm representing right now, Laced and Found. If you're watching this, shout out to you. I consider him my mentor because he's not even close to me. He's from Texas, and I remember when I was working on a project in a garage here in this one of my cousin's buddies had wanted some artwork for his garage, and he told him about me. So I went in and just hooked up his garage. I remember the first day I had posted it and I had tagged this guy, Laced and Found. His name's Jay Rivera. And he just commented. He's like, bro, that's sick and stuff like that. And then since then, he started messaging me, and I would ask him tips. He would give me follow-ups, teach me some techniques. And he's really looking forward to collaborating with me one day. Me too, and then, it's just been crazy. I'm really grateful for him. Another artist that I really look to, where I get my comic idea from, style to it, is IamBennytheJetArt. That's where I got the I am from, because the way he is, he's a comic book artist. He has his own comic book, and I just love his perspective of the work ethic too. His style, he likes that his style represents him. That's why he changed his Instagram to I am. It used to be I am the artist I am, but now it's I am Henry I am, because at the end of the day, his art represents who he is. So that's why I decided to change mine to I am Benny the Jet Art. Benny the Jet, just because every time everyone finds out my name's Benny and the Jet. So that's a typical.
Oh, I thought it was because of the Sandlot.
Yeah, I was thinking
Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
A lot of people did. Some people for the Sandlot, but the majority of it, Benny and the Jet. That one song. So, and then another artist he's down from Bakersfield, and to this day I want to say my dad might know him, because I know my cousin does, because they worked around the same industry in the oil fields. With Key Energy, when my dad used to work there, and I guess that guy used to work there, and he lives up in Bakersfield, and he has that dirty stylistic to it. That's where I get my backgrounds and my kind of freestyle to it. But other than that, I just mix all 3 of those and I make it mine. Just those inspirations.
So, as an artist, you get a lot of requests, right? For like people, I want this, I want you to like do this for me. Is that hard for you to like kind of like make other people's visions happen, or like are you, because I've always thought like people who are artists usually like their art comes from a personal level. So is it hard for you to like do that for other people?
It can be. It's really a hit or miss, just because if I'm really feeling it, I'll get it in my head. But then there's some that I do have to work with. Like, it just depends on how much they give me and how much creative freedom they give me too. Because like how Julian's, I did more of his more exact, just because of the picture that it was. I wanted to get it more exact. I felt like it looked better, cleaner, and not giving it that dirty look. So it just really depends on what they really want and how much freedom they give me to it too. Because that's why I like to stray away from logos. A lot of people ask me for logos, and I could do them, but it's just I don't have that freedom, because that logo I have to make not only represent your company but yourself. So it makes it a little harder to make logos. That's why I try to stray away from them. But yeah.
You made a couple logos for some companies.
I did. One of the first person that I ever made a logo for was my cousin Bomber, Bomb Details. Him, and then the second person was Eric Saldana. They're my two. And now they're together. Shout out to them being my first clients for logos. And then after that, it went to another one of my cousins, another one of my cousin's brothers for his tinting, and yeah. But for the most part, it's commissions. That's where I make my most money. Yeah.
In terms of monetizing your art, how does it compare to your other jobs?
As of right now, I'm not making enough from art to like really say, oh, I could quit one of them. But I am at a point, especially mentally wise, because I do want to focus more on myself and my life more than just be about the money and make money. Even though we need money to survive, obviously, I'm just trying to stray away from that. I'm trying to just enjoy my life a little more. I'm at the point where, luckily, with my art, I could at least cut my days a little shorter or work a little less. But I'm trying to get to the point where I don't have to work at all and just do more art. But as of right now, as much as if I have to keep working, I'll keep working because I don't mind working either.
I think that's the hard thing about being an artist, specifically like with painting and drawing, is like in order to like make a living, there's a lot of like jobs that maybe you don't want to do, but you have to.
That's what I'm.
And
that's what I'm really learning right now too, especially because I've denied it, especially during this time that I've been close trying to finish up a lot of commissions that I have. Because I'll admit I took a little too many in hand, so I was like, damn, how am I gonna get these all done? I have people waiting that have ordered like about a month and a half ago, you know. So it's just that's kind of a stress reliever. I mean, it's stressful, but you know, it just takes me time because I don't really try to rush my pieces either. Because like I said, my art represents who I am, you know. So I'm trying to give you a quality piece of work.
You say that you don't rush, but you work quick though.
Oh, I do just because I try to do multiple at the same time.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when I was working on yours, I was working on like 3 others too.
Do you think that painting helps you stand out in a market that's absolutely oversaturated with digital artists?
Yes, just because when it comes to digital, it is hard. It's really difficult. It's its own different beast. It's its own craft. But when it comes to hand, it's your hand. It's your motion. When it comes to making a straight line, you can't just physically make a straight line. With digitally, you could make a line, hold it, and it'll straighten itself out. You know, so it's more of a for me, I just like that pencil to paper. No, I don't know. I feel a lot better doing that old school way. And plus I'm already, not so much that I'm on my phone all the time, but I already have a screen in front of me from when I look at my reference, when I'm texting people or whatever. I just don't want to be digitally and be stuck on a screen the whole time, you know, because badly enough, I'm already blind. Pretty bad, so.
How do you deal with creative burnout? Have you like gotten there to a point, or are you
plenty of times, bro? Plenty of times, especially because of my 2 jobs. You know, because when you're constantly working, and say a lot of times I'm working from one job go to the other. You know, so I try to appreciate my time a little bit more and take advantage of my time, because if I just try to force it, it's not gonna be there. Yeah. And then I'm just gonna mess it up, and I'll have to restart or something. You know, so I just try to, if I'm not in like creative space of like, all right, I could do this within this amount of time that I have, then I won't do it at all, because I don't want to ruin it. You know. So, but I've had plenty of burnouts. I've had plenty of moments where I've had like, I don't know, am I sure I want to do this?
Yeah.
Am I sure I want to do this? But I try to continuously remind myself it's because I have 2 jobs. I'll get to the point where I'll be able to let go of them. You know, I'm just looking forward to that day. You know, day by day, taking it step by step.
How do you handle 2 jobs and then have time to make so many commissions and take so many commissions in? How many commissions did you take in last time?
I want to say about 13 on record, about like 9 more off record. So I want to say a total about 20 something.
So how do you handle? Because I know In and Out, you go in early, right?
Yeah, I go in about 5:30, so I try to be up by 4:30, 4:45.
And then after that, you go to. Do you work 2 days or do you pull doubles sometimes?
Yeah, a lot of times I do pull doubles because my schedule for both jobs is the same. I usually have Tuesday, Thursdays off because that's when my fiance's off of school, and that's my day to be with her.
Okay.
Those are my 2 days to be with her, like completely. Other than that, though, when I do have to work both jobs, it's just not always back to back. Every now and then, because I have my availability set up to where I'll have that space in between to do everything else. You know, because I'm trying to stay consistent not only with my art, my jobs, my life, but also health wise, you know, physical wise, you know. I still try to work out as much as I can. Like this, I'll admit, like this morning, I woke up at 5:30 in the morning. I went on a run.
Yeah.
I went on a run from 6 to 7. You know, went on a 6-mile run, came, showered, got ready for this.
It's so hard because like I want to like make that happen, you know.
Discipline.
It's
something I do not have.
Yeah.
It's a lot of effort and it's a lot of discipline, but it's a matter of believing in yourself at the end of the day. Because I mean, I remember when I first started working both jobs, I was crazy because I was still going through that phase of I want to hang out with my friends, you know, and I would get off of work from Harris at like 10, 11, go party, get off at 2, get out of there at 2.
Wake up
and
at
then
5, go for a run. There.
Wake up at 4:30 and go to my job. Or even sometimes go from a party straight to work.
Yeah.
And then from there, get off of work to my other job. So it's just,
That was
you know,
Maddie.
I remember. No, but I've always been I've always been a time kind of person. Like, as much as I don't write it down, oh, I'm doing this at this time, this at this time. In my head, I'm always writing down my schedule. From the moment I wake up, I try to be time managed, you know. And
I need that.
Okay.
even though I'm not the best at it, and I'll be late to a lot of times, even at work, because sometimes, especially now, I've always been that late night, early grinder, you know. And for a while, I lasted, but there's a point where your body tells you, bro, you gotta chill. You gotta
That's how I've been. I've always, like, I left your house, at like midnight when we were hanging out, and then I had to go in at 5 the next day, or 6 the next day. I do that all the time now. And I think right now, like, I'm transitioning to a point where I need my sleep.
I've always been impressed with how much you, like, have on your plate and how well you handle it. I want to ask specifically you two a question, because you're kind of the same in that I am terrible with time management, like awful, and like to the point that like sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like sometimes I'm like, I think 5 minutes is like a long time, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, 5 minutes, that's nothing. So maybe I just don't have a good concept of time, but like how do you guys? I don't want to ask like, what's your organizational system, because like that's never worked because everyone's different, but like. Yeah. What like drives you to be disciplined, or like is there something like it was just when you were born, like you're just like I have to be this way, or I can't operate at all?
So I think Benny's better off than me right now because he's so disciplined with it. I think I'm kind of like going through.
Well, he's older too.
Yeah, so. But I'm kind of like going through the struggle. From a young age, I always thought like I didn't have enough time in the day. You know, like I always wanted to do everything in one day. Mm-hmm. And there was not enough time, so I was always on the go. Like in high school, I was always doing stuff. The sports thing, the drama thing, all that. Going into like transitioning to the adult world is where it really woke me up. Procrastination was killing me, like super bad in college. It still is to this day. You think I handle everything great? That's just the way I make it happen. Like I have so much homework to do tonight, and I think like the college work is what kills me the most, because I can wake up, I could go to work, I can do all this, I could work 2 jobs, but at the end of the day,
sitting there and doing the work.
Yeah, sitting there and doing the work for myself is what I'm not doing. I'm working 8 hours for 2 companies right now, but when I get here, I'm beat, and I can't work for myself, and that's what I'm trying to like get that extra energy. I'm trying, because like I don't want to spend 16 hours a day working for a company that's not going to help me out at the end of the day. Like I'm not growing in myself. So that's what I'm trying to kind of get a hold on, and trying to make a transition to where I can work on myself, get off, make money for myself, or like start, like I want to be an actor, start like investing into that, or investing into myself,
Yeah.
And physically, like I've been trying to work out. There was like a week and a half where I was consistently going to the gym, and then it just died out because finals came, and I'm always procrastinating and this and that, and it's just like I'm stressing out at night. I'm not talking to anybody, like it's just like, and that's where I'm trying to change. So like, what do you do? Because I struggle.
Trust me, it's a struggle, because I mean, even when I first started working 2 jobs and I was going to school and doing cross country, and trying to party. It was intense, bro. But I mean, it's a matter of prioritization, of figuring out your why. Once you know your why and why you're doing it, you have nothing to lose because you're gonna try to get that why. For me, it's freedom. I want to be able to provide my future family, my kids, the freedom that I wasn't really given. You know, I'll admit I wasn't raised in the best situation nor in the worst, but I was born in a situation to where my mom gave me a perspective of like she would let me do anything, so I would enjoy myself when I was with her. So I feel like this just came in when I was younger because when I was with her, I knew it was playtime, you know. But when I would go with my dad, I knew it was work time. So then I always had that mixed match balance. So when it came to transition to adulthood and just realizing all these things that I want to do, especially when it came to school, I despised school. But the only reason I continued going to college and graduated from college was for my parents, because I saw it as in my dad didn't graduate from high school and I have his name, so I graduated for him. You know, I have his name, so I graduated high school for him. I went to college because I one-upped him by going to college and graduating from college. So now my little brother has no other choice but to graduate college and go to university if he chooses to. I'm trying to set that one-up bar. But I just went to college. I could have gone to university and still studied, but I said, this isn't for me. You know, I'm a graduate for my parents, but after this, I'm going to do what I want to do for myself. So once I really tapped into that why I really want to do this, it set me up to where, all right, now I want to do this. I need to invest those 10,000 hours into it. So let's get to it. You know, and it wasn't always art. I can't really say art was a dream of mine, but now it is. Now I can really see myself doing it for the rest of my life. But it's just a matter of prioritization. I learned this about, I want to say, a year and a half ago, of a way to prioritize your life, and that's mind, body, soul, family, friends, business, and money. And I have those, the guy that I learned from, he calls those as the 7 equities. And it's just the 7 ways of prioritizing yourself. You know, the first 3, mind, body, soul, is yourself. Because before you can help anyone else, you have to help yourself. Damn. Then from there, it goes on to family. Because most importantly, who's always going to have your back? Your family. Not just saying that as in your blood family, but family. Because they don't always have to be blood to be family. Yeah. And then after that is your friends. And the friends that are always going to support you and always be there for you. And then after that, it goes to your business or hustle, your work. You know, the work that's going to provide you that financial stability to do what you want. And then after that is money. You know, money is the last thing, because some people say it's the root of all evil, but you could also use it as the tool to give you that freedom that you're looking for. You know, so just prioritizing your life in the way that you want to prioritize it, and at the end of the day, you'll seek to it.
I'm glad we have him on, because I know you and I both like motivational stuff, and like.
Yeah. Are you a big reader?
Oh hell yeah.
Sorry.
Not too much of a big reader. I know when before COVID and stuff like that, I was really on it. Because during high school I hated reading, but I feel like it was just, I hated reading the stuff that they wanted us to read. Yeah. I wasn't really reading the stuff that I wanted to, and just getting into these self-help books that I started reading. It gave me a different perspective, and it made it easier to the life that I'm living now. It gave me a better perspective for it.
I think self-help books get like a bad rap because it's like,
it's so corny. It's so like,
like people think it's corny, and like sometimes you read some books and you're like, like this is a little corny, you know. But I think what it does for me specifically is I've learned a couple things, but thankfully I've been blessed with like really good parents. So like, most of the time when I'm reading, I'm like, like really obvious stuff. But like, what it does for me is like, because usually I'll read it in the morning and then at night, and so that way when I wake up in the morning, that's like the first thing on my mind. And so for me, I've noticed that it helps me to like, kind of like you're saying, prioritize, to like calibrate my mind to like where I need to be. And on those days, I'm like, I'm on top of the world. I'm taking care of this and doing all this.
You're feeling good.
But I've never been like disciplined. Like I just haven't. And so like, I don't know. It's nice to like hear you guys like talk, because I always want to like, you can always learn something from somebody.
Well, here's the thing to take account as well, as if you're trying to reach a certain point of your life, like visualize yourself in that point of life. What's it gonna not only is what's it gonna take to get there, but what's it feel like to stay there? You know, and once you tap into that part of your life of like, all right, So if I'm gonna be a professional artist and making my income just solely on art, how's it gonna look like? I'm gonna have this. I'm gonna have this house. I'm gonna have this. This around my life. I'm gonna have these friends. I'm gonna have this wife. I'm gonna have these kids. You know, and then from there, you take into account of what do I have to be doing to stay with to keep that. And then once you know what's it gonna take to keep all of that, you start to backtrack. All right, so what's it gonna take to get there?
Yep.
I'm gonna have to take these so many years, these so many months, these so many weeks, these so many days, these so many hours just to get there.
I like how it's starting like backwards.
From the end.
You know, like
No, yeah, because that's the thing. A lot of people like to see it as in, all right, I want to do this.
yeah.
How do I start? Why don't you start
Begin
by
with the
going
end,
going
yes.
from the end to the beginning? Then you'll slowly get your answers. It's a little bit easier. It's a little difficult to see too sometimes, but it's a little. At least from my perspective, I see it a little easier.
Yeah, I was planning my funeral the other day.
Oh, you're the one that-
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I was gonna say I heard that
Yeah.
from somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I was. There's this really good book. It's called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it tells you like plan your funeral and like basically like write your eulogy for like. So it says write what you think your family would say about you or want to say about you when you're dead. Your friends what you want them to say, and then like your work, and then you take that and you're kind of like, okay, well I have who I want to be, and like you said, just like prioritizing and stuff like that. I think my biggest problem is just doing it. Like I just have to like sit down and
where
make
I'm at, too.
myself. I'm such a spaz. Like I'm just like I can't. It's so hard for me to just sit down and do it. But once I get into it, like I there's no stopping me. Like I will finish. Like,
I have
whatever it
a
is,
question. I think my biggest problem is my phone. And I'm being dead ass right now. I think my biggest problem is my phone. Because I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I get home, I get a text, I'm on there for now. Right? I have limits on there now. It's been better. We're good. But
I'm not
I sound like an
anymore.
addict, dude. I sound like was the phone a big problem for you?
Still is to this day. I'll admit, no, because I'll admit it's because it's just there. You know, we got so used to it. Especially, when I didn't really have a problem with my phone until I want to say after high school. That's when I would always be on my phone. Not only because I was just on my phone scrolling through Instagram, but I would communicate with a lot more people during that time. So I would get stuck on my phone. So then when it came to this point in my life where I really want to dedicate this all my all to it, I get distracted here and there, but it's just, you have to look at it as, if you get distracted with something, it's because whatever it is that you're doing, you're not so much that you're not enjoying it, it's just you're having a problem with it, and once you acknowledge it, it's like, oh shit, that's the first step to everything is acknowledge it.
Yep.
Acknowledge the problem, and then slowly you'll pick up the habit of letting it go. Yes, even to this day, I'm able to let go of my phone, but once I get on it, I'll get on it. But I don't mind to either, because then I take those as those little small breaks, because at the same time too, just sitting there or standing painting for so I get lost in there, especially with how dark my room is, because I like my room dark. And I'll start at 1, next thing you know, it's 6. I'm like, oh, fuck. Even when I'm texting to, especially because, I live 15 minutes away from my fiance, I'm constantly texting her, and I'll even get distracted and I'll forget to text. I'm like, damn. So in my head too, I try to forget that my phone's there, but I always try to acknowledge that it's there just so I could remember to reply to her and reply to the important people that are there. But it's just the matter of just acknowledging your problem, whatever it is that you feel like it's distracting you, keeping you away from doing what you want to do, just acknowledge it and then face it forward. You have to be willing to fail, whatever you want to call it. You just gotta do it, bro.
That's the scary part too.
That's the scariest part is to start.
But yeah, and there's a quote that I like to read every day. Will Smith said it. Maddie, you probably heard it 3 times already. God put the best things in life on the opposite side of fear.
Yes.
And then that's
skydiving taught me that as well.
Wait, you've been skydiving?
Yeah, bro.
It's about skydiving.
Most beautiful. That's why I did it, because I remember during the time that he did it, my fiance decided to take me for my birthday.
I want to
So,
go
bro,
skydiving so bad.
if you don't plan to, I suggest you do,
Oh, I
because
want
it
to
is
so badly.
the most beautiful
Let's go
view
over to
you'll
this-
ever
Do you
see.
I'll drive you guys along, which will be there.
do you like when you're in a moment of like stress or like when you're at your weakest, do you kind of like check out for a second and you're just like, I love this. Like, I love this.
No, I mean, I don't check out and say that I love this, but I like I said, when I'm stressed out, I try to take a step back. Why am I stressed out? That's the first thing I do. Why am I stressed out? And then what can I do to fix it within that moment? And if I can't, then I'll just step away. I'll step away and then, I'll step away and then I'll just continue on with my day. You know, try to look at the positive side. You know, like say if I'm working in the middle of painting and I get stressed out and I'm just like, I can't do this. You know, I'll step back. Why can't I do it? And if I just can't get back to it, then, you know, at least I got done what I got done today. Now let me move on to my next task. You know, because you don't want to get stuck either. Because then the longer you get stuck, the more of a chance you are going to fall back if you get stuck. You have to learn to climb those walls. Or move them to the side. Because like I said, I've learned that from my sports. You know, because the first sport that I ever really did was skateboarding. What I learned from skateboarding is balance. The first thing to skateboarding is balance. If you don't have a good balance, you can't do any tricks. You can't go down a ramp.
Yeah, I eat shit all the time.
That's the hardest thing. Oh my gosh, to go down. Ooh,
And
you just gotta lean into it.
then what I took from running for 13 years of my life, what I learned from there is if you have a target, you stare at that thing for long enough, soon enough you'll be next to it.
There. Yeah.
And I learned that because in cross country, if someone's in front of you and you want to pass them, if you just stay focused into their back and you just control your breathing, slowly enough you'll see yourself catching.
Did you ever? Because I used to run too. Did you ever, when you were trying to catch somebody, zone out? Like your vision would just zone out?
Bro, I've lost my mind running. When I did that, I remember when I did that 946, it was in All Sierra. My senior year, I was like, this is it, bro. I've never broken 10s. I need to break 10s this time. And I was on a roll. I think I did my fastest mile that time, too. I don't remember what it was, because I know online my fastest mile was like a 5:10 or whatever, but I know I've done faster than that. I've done like a 4:40 something before.
Yeah.
But it's just been, I remember I lost it. Once I hit that mile mark, I was like, all right, I'm done. And I took off. I didn't make it to the valley, sadly, but I was able to beat myself.
Yeah.
You know, and I even once that race ended, I fell because I gave it my all during that because I knew it was it. After that, I was done with sports. You know.
Damn, I miss running now. Running was so fun.
I just missed that competition.
Yeah, no, it was fun being in that little waterfall line and then like, hey, so where you from? Oh, I'm from Colombia.
Yeah,
what's your fastest mile? What's your fastest mile time? Oh, bro, I'm kind of slow. And then like
Those guys are always the fastest. Why does everyone? Oh, nah, bro, I'm not that good.
But like I did
and
the same thing in wrestling. Like, oh, where you from?
gosh.
What's your weight class? Well, I'm wrestling you, bro. Oh yeah. Oh, are you good? Nah, bro, it's my first year. And then like, you know, and then you just like, but I don't know, it's just a competition.
Yeah.
My fastest mile was 4:44.
4:44.
That was like my junior year, and I remember I was right behind Jasmine the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the main reason why I was that fast is because my freshman year I was running with Ivan, Alex, you know, Jesus, and they took me in. Jasmine, they all took me in.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it was cool because I was a part of varsity. I was learning from them. I was learning their tactics, and they did cross country. I didn't. I did football.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like they had that extra training, and I was like coming in super late.
Mm-hmm.
But if it wasn't for them, I don't think I'd be able to like run the way I ran. But I love running. Running is a stress reliever for sure.
It's crazy to think too. Not a lot of people acknowledge the technique wise it takes to run too. Either whether you're sprinting long distance, there's a technique to it. Because even when you're running, the proper pace to like really like keep progressing is just back straight, chest up, you know, and just so that you could let your hips drive you and just keep going. Because if you like start hunching back, that's what's gonna slow you down, you know. When you put your arm, how you put your arms, it's really difficult. But from running, I learned that if you want something and you keep your sights on it, you'll eventually be there. And another thing that I just started, especially now, focusing on is with this whole COVID thing, I feel like it made it a little harder for me to breathe. You know, constantly having to wear masks. I felt like I became a mouth breather. So I'm just like, and me personally, I don't like that. I don't like that. So then when I slowly came back to running, I even noticed that it made it harder for me to run. I was, dying out. So then I took in the time to really focus on my breathing, and even now, I focus on my breathing about 24/7. I try to, because it's really calmed me down. And even when I get stressed and stuff like that, I just
I started.
and even with just that, you're just like, okay, I'm better.
Yeah.
And it's really powerful what even just breathing goes.
I started listening to my Apple Watch more. It tells me to breathe. I'm like, okay.
I don't even listen to my Apple Watch, but yeah, I do know what you're talking about.
Or it's time to stand up. I'm like, fuck, okay.
And then from soccer, what I took from soccer is just my aggressiveness, because I was always the smallest guy.
Dude,
I was
okay.
always the smallest guy. Being in high school, going into freshman year, I was 4'10", 90 pounds. 4'10", 90 pounds going to freshman year. And my freshman year, I got coach's award for soccer, most inspirational for soccer.
Damn.
Just because my dad always taught me. My dad's pretty huge. I mean, you've met my dad. You've seen him.
Yeah, I met you guys because of soccer.
Yeah,
That's where I first met him.
Yeah, that's where I first met him too. I played with his dad. and his uncle.
Yeah, and so I remember I was watching on the sideline eating my chips, and then Benny starts like talking crap to somebody, and then like all of a sudden there's a fight, and then his dad gets in it, and I was like, oh, what the? I threw my chips. I was like, okay. All of a sudden the game just got better.
Bro,
That's when I first met Benny though.
I'll admit, because I would never let anybody bring me down, because my dad instilled that to me, because he was always bigger than me, and I always, throughout my whole entire life, I've always said, I'm gonna be better than you, Dad. I'm gonna be better than you. In every aspect of life, I want to be better than him. So the way I bring up my kids, I want to do better than him and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a hard thing to do, especially knowing who my dad is, because that fool does not stop. When I tell him, like, growing up, I'm like, hey, Dad, relax, chill. He's like, well, if you were to do your job, around the house, I'd be able to relax, And so, that's why even nowadays I try to do a little more around the house, but even then, sometimes it gets a little hard, But, I mean, thankfully, he got me to the position where I am right now, where I'm able to help him buy the house that we're moving into right now. I was thankfully he instilled that within me. But, I mean, when it came to soccer, he put it in me as, give it your all. Don't let anyone bigger, just because they're bigger doesn't mean they could take you,
Yeah.
Even though I was smaller, I would use my size to an advantage. I went into high school 4'10", 90 pounds. I left 5'6", 115. Thankfully now I'm about 130. I was getting up to my 150s, especially when I was really going into the gym, because when I stopped running. But I mean, just from soccer, it's just my aggressiveness. That I look at life, and even right now that I'm drawing, is I look at it as like I'm better than any other drawer out here. I have to look at it that way, because in order for me to be better than everyone else, I have to believe I'm better than everyone else.
Well, that's how you make it too.
Yeah.
Like you have to believe in yourself to actually make it.
Because how do you expect anyone else to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself?
Exactly. It's like what's his name? Bruce Almighty. He was in Bruce Almighty.
Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, right? Before he got Dumb and Dumber, like a couple years back, he signed himself a check for $1 million, right? And he dated it, Thanksgiving 19 something, and it was 5 years back or 10 years back, and it was time for that. It was almost time for that check to expire. Boom, he lands Dumb and Dumber. He was able to cash out that check. But another thing that he would do, he would drive through like Beverly Hills and stuff where all the celebrities lived after work, imagining that he was going home.
It's manifesting.
Yeah.
It's the power of manifesting. It's the power of I am.
Mm-hmm.
I like to call it the power of I am, because whatever you put after I am, it can happen.
Yeah.
I am tired. I'm awake. I'm alive. That's a lot of people don't take it to the account that that's a practice of gratitude as well. Because you have to be grateful from the moment you wake up. Thank God, or whoever you believe in. Thank God I'm alive. Thank God I was able to take this breath. I can move every single bit of my fingers. I'm here. Anything that comes after I am, you will cease to. I will generally admit, coming over here, I kept saying, I will kill this. I will, even though it's just a small podcast, you might look at it as like, oh, we don't have that much follow me.
Oh,
and
dude,
stuff
this
like
is
that.
going to the moon. What are you talking
This
about?
is gonna pass those for sure, bro. Like my goal with this is because I mean, like I said, I had my podcast before because my whole purpose that I see is I want to be the way I look at life and my purpose here in life is I'm here to give that perspective to younger people. Whatever it is that you want to do, you could do. You know that at the end of the day, that's what I've always wanted to do.
That's
I grew
his
up.
mission statement.
Yeah, that's my mission statement. What I feel like my purpose is, because ever since I was a kid, I would always watch motivational videos. You know, I always wanted to be that guy to motivate, pump up. You know, I always loved watching Eric Thomas. You know, and so that's why when it came to, cause I remember when I first seen Julian saying that he wanted to do the podcast, I hadn't even told. I was like, if you guys ever need anybody, you know, hit me up.
He was the first person. I don't know if you guys know this. He was the first person to shout us out. Like he was painting.
Yeah, I remember
he was
that,
painting, and he like it was on YouTube, and he like showed his on his Instagram.
The painting
that he was painting, and then he went to the video,
Yep.
and it was like
Yeah.
a 40-second like video, and we were talking about fucking lice or something. But
I think it was. I think it was.
Yeah. But yeah, he was the first person to shout us out, and you were actually the first person I wanted as the guest.
Yeah, since it's like literally
since the
since
get-go,
day
yeah.
one, like we've been talking about getting you on. Yeah.
Yeah.
because I've always looked at it. Even when I made my own podcast, I want to reach people to try to help better their lives and try to chase their dreams, and that's why I'm grateful for this moment too, because it gives me that chance to finally. I've been away from it, you know, just doing my own thing, doing my art, but now I'm in a position where I like what I've learned throughout this whole year and a half. I could at least give something.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, you have to realize there's so many people around you. You know, and the only way for the world to get better is to make the people around you better, and that's gonna soon, you know, go along everyone, man. And it's
Leading
just,
by example.
you know, I've never seen myself as a leader, but I've always been my favorite animal is a tiger. The reason I like a tiger is so as much as he's so ferocious and vicious like a lion, he knows he's behind a lion. You know, so he's just, you know, I'm a cold-blooded killer, but I'm gonna lay back. You know, I like to see myself that way too. It's like not a lot of people know the things that I'm capable of. Like, if I would admit I'm not the biggest guy, but you step into my lane, be prepared for a fight because you know I'm about my life. I'm about my family, my friends, everyone. You know, you step into my lane, and you're not in the wrong way, you're gonna be quick to get out.
You do strike me as a very real person, and that's something that like whenever I am like trying to find friends or just like talking to anybody, you can see through people really quickly.
No, yeah, for sure,
when
and
they're
it's
fake.
a vibe too. It's a vibe.
Yeah,
they give
no,
off.
just I mean I'm not anybody, but you've definitely earned my respect. Like you're definitely a cool.
Well, this
I
is
mean,
like the first time, like we know each other, but this is the first time I legitimately had an actual conversation.
No, yeah.
Because it's always like work, what's up, bro? Yeah, or like
Just like small talk.
Yeah,
whatever,
small
but-
talk.
There's no depth to the
Yeah.
conversations.
Yeah.
yeah. So what's end goal?
Hmm?
What's end goal for like your life, business, art? Like what is it? Like I mean, you probably already said it.
For me,
like,
my
ultimately end
my end goal is to be able to reach as many people as I can and inspire them, to show them that as much as you have a blank canvas in front of you, you can make anything you want with it. You know, and that's gonna bring me to my point of life of being free. You know, being able to live my life with my wife. You know, be able to raise kids, be able to support my family, be able to support my parents and give back what they've given me. You know, and at the end of the day, it's just give this world what it needs. You know, nurture its people looking up to me. Because at the end of the day, you know, it's like Kevin Hart had said too. I believe it was Kevin Hart. Like once you become famous, you don't. Oh no, it wasn't Kevin Hart. It was Russ. He said once you become famous, you know, you didn't ask for that accountability, but you have to realize that. Now, since you made it to the stage, you're a role model.
Yep.
There's so many people looking up to you. So it's your job, whether you ask for it or not, to inspire those that are looking up to you. You know? So being able to provide them. So for my case, it's you have a blank canvas in front of you. Whatever you want to do with it, do it.
So you brought some pieces with you, right?
I just brought one. Yeah. Whatever.
I have mine
Yeah,
here,
and
too.
then you have yours.
Did you want to show the camera?
Watch out for the coffee.
Yeah, hold on. I have
This is one.
So what's going on here with this one?
This is just a PlayStation 5 remote. But like, you know how nowadays people are like having the little lights behind their TVs and stuff?
Yeah.
You know? So it's just a PlayStation 5 remote. Little dirty look to it. Then it has like a blue light because PlayStation is like blue. And yeah, this is still available if anyone's still interested too.
Oh, so you just made that just for like for fun?
Yeah, that's why I say like for me it's a little harder for me to sell pieces that I generally make. I make more of my money off of the commissions. Because when I make something, I put it up, not a lot of people want to buy it. Just because I put a price on my, you know.
Honestly, if you do another Spider-Man one like you did the giveaway, I'll buy it. It was bad.
It was really dope.
This is the one I ordered.
And this is Julian's commission.
So this is more like specified, detailed and stuff.
Wait, I want to see it. You painted all that?
Yeah.
Every single bit.
And I have the process like he sent me when he like sketched the characters and like the street.
I have a recent that
I have the process.
Do you ever get nervous like when people ask? Like I know Hector kind of already said it, but like, do you ever get nervous like, oh, like I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that? Like, do you ever have that doubt that you're not gonna be able to do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have that multiple times. I remember when I did my first little mural too. It was during the whole Black Lives Matter when what's George Floyd when he passed away. I did a piece over at the gallery in Avenel. It's like kind of towards the alley in the back. You could barely see it, but it's just a whole bunch of fists. Like, and it says.
Oh, you know what? I think I have seen it.
There's a whole bunch of fists, and then in the back it says, and on top it says "United We Stand." You know, that piece I was a little nervous because it was my first like public mural piece. But yeah, I mean, I get a little nervous. It's always gonna be there, but I take it as nerves is a good thing. You know, it's a challenge, it's something you're new to, so.
I take it as like if you're not nervous, there's something wrong.
Yeah, if you're not nervous, there's absolutely something wrong.
The chemicals your body produces when you're nervous and excited are the exact same thing.
Exactly.
When I learned that, I was like, "What?" And so I'd get nervous, and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm not nervous. I'm excited," and it would just get me so pumped up for like whatever it is.
That's a matter of perspective too. Yep. You have to change your perspective. You know, when you go through something bad, you know, either look at it as a bad thing and just get stuck with it, or look at the good outcome that can come out of it.
Yeah.
You always have to look at that. You always have to try to look at the positive sides. You know, because that'll just keep your whole life positive around you.
Do you feel like the way that you are, like, how do I say this? Like, you're very inspirational, and so like, do you feel
I try
like
to be. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you feel like you have always been that way? Like, I know you said like sports and everything like really helped with like your work ethic and everything like that. Stop. Do you feel like there was a time in your life where you weren't this way, and like how was it to like work towards the person that you are today?
It was most definitely hard. I would want to say it was especially after high school because, like I said, I didn't grow up in the best situation in my life, but not the worst either. I've been through a lot of dark times in my life, you know, and I've always gone through them. Growing up, separated family home, I would either be with my mom with a week, be with my dad another week. You know, so just I always try to look at the bright side. You know, like I said, when I'm with my mom, I'd have fun. When I was with my dad, time to work. So it was mainly after high school is when I want to say my darkest times. I want to say came into my life just because. After high school, I knew what I wanted to do, which was I wanted to motivate people and be there, but I just didn't know how to get there, obviously, like everyone else does, you know? But at the same time, too, during that time, I wanted to find love so bad. I wanted to, that was during, I can honestly say, during the ending of my senior year to like a little afterwards, all I really wanted was to find someone to love, find someone to be with. And that drove me nuts because a lot of people don't believe me, but I had a lot of not problems with girls, but I just was never able to have a girlfriend, you know. So like I always just wanted someone to love, and then you know during that time of process of trying to find someone else to share my life with, I managed to just live my life for other people, you know. I would make money just so I could hang out with my friends. I would make money so I wouldn't be home. I would work. I remember the only reason I got a job in the first place is because I didn't want to be home dealing with my dad. I didn't want to be home doing chores around the house. I wanted to make my own money, and so I could buy the only stuff that I wanted. You know, my reasoning for living wasn't in the right place.
Yeah.
You know, so then even when I got my car, as grateful as I am for my car, when I first got my car, the only reason I got it is because a lot of my friends were getting new cars. You know, so it's just my reasoning behind it. Just at the beginning wasn't matched with the energy that I wanted to be at the end of the day. But now, slowly learning through life, going through my downs, going through my ups, you know, I've learned to really know what I want in my life and really go after it.
You have your values.
Yeah, my values, my prioritizations, you know. Because when it comes to inspirational, I feel like I try to be, but like I said, I'm like a tiger. I like to push you forward, but I'm gonna just hang back a bit, you know, because I don't want to. It's not so much that I want to take that leadership accountability. It's like be responsible for those people, but it's because I want to lead people to be a certain type of way and fulfill themselves, but I don't also want to be responsible for them. Because at the same time, I'm not. You know, you're responsible for yourself. So I can to this day, I think my inspiration, my way of thinking, just came from my dad. I thank him every single day for it because, like I said, he just doesn't stop. You know, and growing up, he was always the guy that my family would always go to. Oh, I need help with this. Oh, I need advice with this. And my dad was always there. And I always wanted to be that person for my family. You know, I always wanted to, like I said, I always wanted to be better than him. So that's where I feel like my inspiration kind of comes from, and I try to push people to be better people as well, because in order to be happy, you have to be happy with yourself.
If you guys want to keep going, we can. It's getting good.
I know. Hector's enjoying this. I know he's really enjoying this.
Yeah, I'm enjoying this. Like,
I feel like it's because you're finally getting what you've been wanting to. You said you like that motivational kind of type talk.
Dude,
you really liking it. I admit I'm really liking it too. Like,
did he throw you off?
Who?
You. Like, did you think he was gonna talk about this?
No. I had honestly, I came into this with no
expectation
of you,
and so that's a good way to think too. Because like Nipsey Hussle says himself that you can't put your expectations of me on me. You can't put just the same way you can't put your expectations of yourself or of anyone on anyone. You know, you could expect things to happen, but also have that in your mind that it might not happen. You know, you have to stay open at all times. Yeah. You know, because if you stay closed-minded and just really like, oh, it should be this way, and it doesn't go your way, you're just gonna put yourself down. You're gonna just, why isn't it ever my way? Yeah. You know, you have to think of it, maybe that wasn't meant to be. You know.
Damn.
Yeah, there's just a lot of things that you said that like I think the exact same way. Like when you said I want to be better than my dad, dude. Like that clicks with me so hard. And when I have a kid, like I want to look at them and be like, you are 100%, like just 1000% better than I ever was. And like just to be so proud, like just like I don't know, that's just something I look forward to, like in having kids. It's just like I just want my kids to just want to be like, they're just so much better than me. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like I can't take credit for that. Like that's just them. Like they're just, I don't know.
It's funny too because I'm excited for that chapter of my life as well, but I know it ain't coming soon because my fiance doesn't want kids for a while. She doesn't want kids, period. But I always tell her too, I'm like, just give me one. Give me one.
How do you deal with that? Because that's something that, you know, when I'm looking for somebody to date and stuff like that, kids is a big thing for me, and I don't want to have like just one kid. I want to have a couple kids. I could probably do one kid, but like how like when you were going into this relationship, like was it like, ooh, we got to talk about this a little bit, or like was it a big deal? Or
no, when it came to that, because that was like one of the first things she really told me. I remember it was crazy how me and her even like started, because I remember our first date, like probably one of the worst things we could. It was the worst, but best thing we could have done too. It's because she actually asked me in the first date too. Yeah. Because I'll admit, like during that time too, if you're ever looking for a relationship, just let it happen. My advice to you is let it happen. You can't force things to happen. Because like I said, for years I tried finding someone to love, but when I finally put it into the world, God's hand, they gave it to me. Because all I really said is, all right, you know what? I'm just enjoying my life. I'm gonna do what I want, and within time she'll come. I can honestly say within a while she came, and it was crazy because like when I remember the first time I ever saw her at Harris too, because she works at Harris. Oh my god!
How long did you guys work together, like before dating?
Honestly, I remember I would just see her there when I worked at Harris. I would just see her there. I remember the first day that I worked there, I did see her there. The first thing I noticed was her red lipstick.
Got that tunnel vision.
Yeah, I
That
saw
running tunnel vision. He was like,
I remember
I'm gonna get it.
it was crazy because her red lipstick was what really caught my eye. But then I seen her talking to some other guy. I was like, oh, she's probably dating him. You know, that was the first thing that popped in my head. She's probably dating him. But you know, I think like 6 months, maybe almost a year went by. And then I had my first conversation with her. She was just making a dessert or something like that. And she was talking to some other person. And then I guessed her birthday. I forgot. It was like something within like conversation. I guessed her birthday. And then a couple weeks passed by. She was like making change or whatever. And one of our managers passes by. And she's like, oh, honey, you know who I think you should go on a date with? Who would be perfect for you? She's like, who? I was like, Benny. And I was like, right there. I was like, I was like, oh damn.
That was Cam, huh?
Yeah, it was Cam. It was crazy because like we're just like, oh, like, and then she left, so we like left us kind of awkward.
He's like,
And I was like, oh, like I forgot what was the first thing that we like kind of just said. We just like went on with our day, I think, and then I think later on I asked her for her number and her Snapchat, so she gave it to me. And I remember that first day too when I got off work, I texted her, "Oh, is this the beautiful Angela?" She was like, and I remember she had texted me. I remember I think I had a screenshot of it on my phone, but I think the first thing she texted me was like, "Oh, is this Benny, my love?" I was like, "Oh," and like we texted for a little bit just that night, and then she ghosted me. She ghosted me for 3 months.
I'd fucking cry.
She ghosted me for a while, and I just let it go, you know? I just like, whatever.
Because you're living your life, right?
Yeah, I'm just living my life, and then...
But you saw her at work, too, right?
Yeah, I would always see her at work. And
That
then,
hurts, dude.
No,
Yeah.
she's ghosting you, but she can't really ghost
Yeah.
you when you work together.
like, and then, like, a few months passed by and stuff like that, then I talked to her a little bit more, and then I would go from one side of the restaurant to the other just to go talk to her, just make an effort, just little chats here and there. And then when we started texting again, I remember she was making a dessert, and I was just messing around. I was like, "Oh, nice cakes," and then that's when it just started, that whole thing. That's why every now and then, even to this day, every time she makes dessert, I always tell her that, "Oh, nice cakes." And
Did you guys start working? So you were talking about working in arcade when she was working at steakhouse.
yeah.
Right? When did you start working in steakhouse? Like, what point of your relationship?
I want to say we're probably like 6 months in or so before I started working in the steakhouse. Yeah, she stole me. But
Pam story. I'm just kidding. I'm a Pam story.
yeah. No, actually, Joaquin did. Because he had asked me,
Oh, yeah,
hey, would you mind running over here in the steak? I'm like, I'm down, whatever. So, then, I mean, yeah, we just kept texting and stuff like that. Then one day she was like, oh, I want to go, I've been wanting to go to Monterey's aquarium and stuff like that. I was like, oh, we should go. And I remember she wanted to go that day that she had said it, but I had to work. So then I ended up finding someone to switch me, I think a couple days later, the next week. And we went to Monterey, which is a 2-hour drive for our first date.
That's
2-hour
crazy.
drive.
And you're stuck in a car. You just gotta
Stuck
like,
in a car.
You gotta
So,
make that conversation.
Oh, honestly, and it was smooth like a pickle. Just kept conversating, and it was like one of the first. Yeah, so moral of the story. One of the first things she told me is she didn't want kids. So it was like, to me, it was like, I could do with that, because my point was like I said, I'm real open, so it's like, maybe one day we'll have one, maybe we don't,
I feel like just because of who I am and like the religion I have and stuff like that, a lot of people feel like I'm very like closed-minded about like dating and like who I date and like very like picky. So I don't know. It's just it's interesting. Like this conversation, I like it. I like it.
My advice to anyone that's looking for their soulmate, she'll come. She or he will come within time.
And if you're there, comment down below.
This guy.
Comment your name, number, net worth. No, I'm just kidding.
I need a slate. I'm just kidding.
Headshots, preferably.
How did you know when you wanted to get engaged?
Demo reel.
Like,
Within that first year.
yeah, like just that's within that first year.
Within that first
How long
year
have you
being,
guys been together?
Damn.
we're together for 2 years. I want to say 2 years and a half or so. We'll be 3 years in August.
Nice.
In August will be 3 years. But within that first year, I was like, she's just. so amazing. Like
But
I
what
was
was
just
the
like,
moment? Like, what
what
was
was-
the exact moment where you're like, I want to marry this girl?
The red lipstick.
no, I just want. I'll admit it was. I want to really confidently say, our second date, because in our second date we ended up staying the night in Santa Monica, and we went to go catch a Dodgers game, and then just chilled the next day in Venice Beach. But I remember that first we had stayed the night out there, which was kind of awkward. Which is another awkward thing too, because we stayed the night. And I knew we were gonna stay the night, but I was like, "Is there two beds?" Or is there that was the
Do I assume things? Do I? You just like grab your blanket and like, I'll sleep on the floor. It's okay.
No, it was just funny to know that. And then when we got there, it was just one bed. I was like, "Oh damn!"
No.
I was like, "I don't know what's gonna happen, but whatever happens, happens." So whatever. So we ended up enjoying that whole day, Dodger Stadium and stuff. I could have given her first kiss. So perfect too. Oh, I hate myself for it. Cause it was like the 7th inning stretch or something like that. I forgot what it is, but
They put you on the jumbo screen.
no. No, I remember. So like during the games, because obviously you're sitting there, they made us stand up. It was for that one song. Huh? No, it was for that one game, the Take Me Out to the Ball. It was for that. It was just like a stretch for that song. You could just stand up and just stretch, and we were just like, she just grabbed around me, we were hugging and stuff, like just singing along, and then towards the end of it, like we just looked at each other. We just looked at each other. I could have kissed her, but I panicked, man. I panicked.
I hate those.
So I didn't do it. I didn't kiss her. I could have.
Kiss the girl plays in the background.
No, but yeah, and then so then I remember waking up the next morning, and the first person I called was my dad. Oh, how's it going? I was like, oh, it's good. I mean, I'm just here outside. She's still asleep and stuff like that. And he was like, oh, then why are you calling me for? I'm like, and then I was like,
there it is.
oh, and then I just opened up to him. I was like, Dad, like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like this is the one. And that was just our second date. And then since then, I mean, obviously, it's just, it is what it is now. And I mean, I'm madly in love with that one.
Nice.
That's good.
That's
I'm
very
happy for
sweet.
you guys.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask, kind of, is it a turn off when you give a signal to a guy, and like they just are so oblivious to it?
I guess sometimes.
Or does it just depend?
Oh, you
on
want to know something funny too? After that second date?
She said something about that.
No, on the way back.
She kissed you.
No, no,
She kissed you.
no. On the way back, we're still conversating and everything, having, just talking. But then when we were close to getting into town to Kalinga, 'cause obviously she lives in Kalinga, I live in Avenel. So I was dropping her off. We had just got on James. I don't know, we just got quiet. It was just so quiet. So I managed to get the courage. And I was like, so what is this?
Pressure.
What is this? And I told her, open up, because I really like you. I would really like to give this a chance and this and that. I don't know if I'm ready to date yet.
That's
So
what she said.
she hit me with, I don't know if I'm ready to date with because this and that, gave me her reasons. So, okay, still quiet. Like, that was like halfway to getting to Kalinga. That was on Jane. Halfway is like, not even to the prison. So then from there, just stay quiet,
Do you think if you kissed her, it would have like sealed the
No,
deal?
what?
You think it would end
I'll admit, I ended up kissing her at the end of the night, but I mean, it was just, if we would have had that moment, it would have probably been a little better.
Oh my
But
gosh,
I mean, we did it.
embarrassing. You like her?
But
That's so bad.
But yeah, she hit me with the I'm not ready to date yet, And I remember I dropped her off, gave her a hug and everything. I'll see you next time, or I'll text you right now when I get home. I get home, I text her, she didn't reply to me. She didn't reply to me until the next morning. She didn't reply to me. Then I texted her in the morning, good morning, and she stood. And it's like a couple hours, then she texted me.
Why are women so confusing?
Yeah. But yeah, that was. Yeah, she played it. She played hard to get for a bit, but
That's okay. Because now you put a ring on it.
yep.
There it is. That's awesome.
That's dope.
Mm-hmm. But moral of the story, guys, is know what you want and you'll soon get it.
That's just me. That's just hit. You just know you're hitting me right in my soul right now. It's exactly what I needed. Like,
Because even with the, like when we got into the book topic, speaking of the book, because right now I've been reading Bruce Lee's "Be Like Water." It's a book written by his daughter,
yeah.
and it's still it's really good. I'm like halfway through, but I just love his way of the way you once you learn to really flow like water in life, nothing can stop you. See, it's just like nothing can stop water. You know, water finds its ways to go through these creeks and cracks to get to where it wants to. You know, and if you're stopped by a wall, find that little crack, flow like water.
Eventually.
I think the quote's like you pour water into a cup, it becomes the cup.
Yeah.
You pour it in a bowl, it becomes the bowl. Be water, my friend.
I drink water all the time. No. Here's the thing. I drink water all the time, like throughout the time.
So you should be water.
You drink like.
So I drink water all the time, but this is what happens.
That's a 12-pack?
This is what happens. I have a very addictive personality. So when I get something, like I like it's really hard for me to like not to take it in waves. Like I just have to have it all at once. Like if I get cookies, yeah. So like if I get cookies, like I have to like So it's like that's one of the biggest reasons why I don't drink, I don't do drugs, is because like one, I don't want to, I don't feel the need to, but also like I can't, like I have it and I'm like, this is so delicious, like why would I not want to have another cookie? And then I have that other cookie and I'm like, wow, that second cookie was really delicious. You know, it's probably gonna be really delicious again, a third one, and then the whole box is gone and I'm in a sugar coma, and that's just the way life works. And I drink a lot of water, but I drink a lot of water afterwards. Once I know like I've messed up,
Well, yeah, you're in recovery.
I'm 10 cookies deep. I'm like,
He's all dry.
yeah, just soak up that water.
I called him this morning to wake him up, and he was like, "Hello."
My voice gets so deep when I wake up in the
Did
morning.
you call everyone this morning?
I didn't call Sarah because I don't have.
Yo,
him.
wake up
Hector
call.
called me. I picked up the
called
phone and like, what up, dude? And he's like, are you up?
I said,
So I
called him and I
I
went,
got back getting the donuts and stuff.
I went, hey, Julian told me to ask if you were awake. And he goes, well, but it sounds like I'm doing better than you. And I was like, yeah, okay, bye. That's all I needed to know.
Benny, thank you.
Yes,
No
thank you
problem.
so much.
Check out his art on Instagram. We have the link in the description.
For sure.
I am Benny the Jet, right?
Yeah, I am Benny the Jet Art.
So check I am Benny the Jet Art on Instagram.
Follow us on
His
Instagram.
Commissions open. Hit him up. Freaking quality work. We'll leave his Instagram on the bottom. And check this new episode out on YouTube, Spotify,
And
Apple
Music.
Podcast.
Oh wait, Apple Podcast.
Yeah.
Apple
I didn't
Music?
know.
We're working with Apple right now. There's some technical difficulties, but we should.
No, it's up, isn't it?
No.
we should be up pretty soon.
I told somebody it was up. My bad.
Spotify, search it Mondays.
You have
all
to
the
look-
podcasts.
The link, no?
We'll have the link and everything.
The PS5 painting is up for sale. It's been on the show. Verified.
Yeah.
Verified.
One last look,
Slide on the DMs if y'all interested.
but only for art. He's taken, ladies. Relax.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But before I go, just want to leave you guys off again. If you take something out of all this whole thing, is learn how to prioritize your life in a way of mind, body, soul, yourself, family, friends, business, and money. Thank you.
When do you figure out the spot? Right? Are you gonna kiss the camera?
Oh yeah. This is awkward.
There it is. I know.
Alrighty. You guys didn't have to do that. We're done.